Hey, what's up, and welcome to the All-In Networker podcast. This podcast started because myself, Dan McCabe, had a question. The question was, how do you build a big team fast in network marketing? So I asked a good mentor of mine, Dr. David Pietsch, who is a Hall of Famer, 250,000 customers in his downline, tens of thousands of representatives, and he just started spilling the beans. Started telling me everything, not just what worked in the past, but what he is doing in the future to really grow and build his business. I said, hey doc, this needs to be a thing. And he was like, what do you mean? I'm like, we're gonna turn this into a podcast. So here it is, the secret straight from his mouth into your ears. Whatever we can do to help you and the industry grow is what we're here for. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Let's get started. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the All-In Networker podcast. So we had a brief hiatus. I know a couple weeks ago I did a solo cast, but then we took a couple weeks off. Finishing up summer, I think both you and I, Doc, had just some other things kind of going on. So it's good to be back. So how have you been?
Doing great, Dan. Probably never better. Probably the best day of my life so far is today.
Yeah, no, I forgot. I'm not supposed to ask you, but everyone know the best day ever is today. So cool. Well, you know, it's good to be back because I consider this season right now that we are entering to be one of the best seasons for network marketing. Now, people listen to these episodes throughout the entire year, but we're recording this in September. Granted, this is a pandemic year and everything's still a little bit goofy out there, but my kids did go back to school this week. A lot of people's kids went back to school. So all of a sudden there's a little bit, I mean, I guess it's got to have an asterisk by it in a year of COVID, but there's a little bit of normalcy coming back into our worlds. And in years past within this industry of network marketing, that's always meant that September, October, November, people are excited for that routine after a long chaotic summer. They spent too much money on some things they couldn't afford over the summer. They're motivated. It's almost like a second coming of New Year's when you get into the fall. So I'm excited to be here recording this now. You know, I know we got a couple topics we want to get in here today, but what are you kind of seeing out there jumping into the fall season?
Well, it's just routine. You know, people are more in a routine right now than they were a handful of weeks ago. You know, so you're absolutely right. But you know, if you're going to build the network marketing business, it's really about you getting into a routine and making things happen whenever you start. Whether you're starting June 1st or you're starting December 1st, you know, it's your routine that dictates the success of your business and your life and your team. But you know, generally speaking, pretty good time to build right now in the fall. Today is what, September 16th, prime time, baby.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a couple months here. I mean, this is a great time for people to go on their 90-day runs, do their next all-in for 90, you know, however it is that they build, whatever gets them motivated, whatever they can do to force themselves into routine. So some people are going to do that. That's going to happen. But the bigger reality that network marketers know all too well, especially network marketing leaders, is that along that path, along that journey, a lot of people quit. People are kind of quitting this industry all the time. And when we were talking about before the show, what we wanted to talk about today, you threw this idea out there. So I'm going to let you go ahead and lead off with it. But why is it that people quit? Because we probably have people listening to this right now that are thinking about quitting. Like this might be them like, I need to find something to hang on to. Why do I want to do this industry? But you've seen a lot of people quit, I'm sure. What are some of the biggest reasons you know of that they do quit?
Yeah, Dan. Well, let me just tell you, I do know a lot about people quitting because I've had more than 200,000 people on my team quit. So people are quitters 1,000,000%. But it's not just network marketing, it's life. I mean, when I went to chiropractic school way back when, you know, we started with 144 people in my class and we graduated 88 4 years later. You know, the stats in chiropractic are 5 years after you graduate, 50% of the people that were chiropractors are not anymore. So you can do the same thing with real estate and just any profession, anything. You know, go to the gym in January, go to the gym in April. You know, like, I mean, I get it, it's COVID right now, but I just came back from the gym and it was just a ghost town. There's nobody there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, I mean, look, in network marketing, what happens is people think that they can come to the table and because it costs very little to get started, they somehow have the skills that are necessary to go out there and build a residual income, which in my opinion is just as hard as anything else that's out there. It's not any harder, but it's just as hard. You have to learn the skills. I mean, if I had to go to school, Daniel, for 8 years to learn how to be a chiropractor, you know, if I had just 8 years of just, difficult schooling, intense study, lots of class hours, lots of studying, and part 1, 2, 3, and 4 of the national boards, and then the state board, all consuming for 8 years of my life, just so I can start to do my job, just so I can start to open a business. Why is it different in network marketing? Why do you think that you can sign up and magically have the skills to build a global network and, have the leadership skills where people are going to follow you, and you've got, your scripting down, and you've got prospecting down, and you've got your network in place, so again, people have just absolutely unrealistic expectations when it comes to network marketing. But if you're just like a regular human being, if you're any sort of adult, if you're any sort of professional, that has ever started any other business, then you just know what it's going to actually take over here. It's ups, it's downs, there's peaks, there's valleys. The company's going to go through peaks and valleys. You're going to go through peaks and valleys, and you can just think long term. I think that's the difference between the people that win in network marketing and the people that lose, the people that can think long term. And in my opinion, I mean, Dan, you know this, I set all the records in my company, and, I'm the fastest person in the United States to achieve the highest rank in my company. And it's been that way now, I think, for 13 years. Nobody's broke that record in the country, so I did it faster than anybody else. And I had thoughts of quitting because it wasn't going fast enough for me. I didn't feel like I was making enough money fast enough. And so I think all people then have to have those feelings of, can I make this work? And do I really have what it takes? I think everybody has self-doubt that they have creep in, but the difference, between the people that actually win is they just keep doing it. And they just trust the numbers, and they just trust that things are going to work out, and they have, an optimistic outlook on life. But at the end of the day, they're just putting the work in. Network marketing at the end of the day is a numbers game, but it doesn't mean you can stay on a scale of 1 to 10, a 2 or a 3. You've got to elevate your game, and you've got to get your skills, going up. And so that's why we give people books to read and audios to listen to and seminars to go to, so we can help you try to collapse that learning curve. That's really what it's about, is having mentors and coaches and being on a good team in network marketing. They can help you collapse that learning curve.
Yeah, I want to ask you kind of a follow-up question to this, because in the beginning, when you start talking about this, people get this perception at the beginning that it's just going to be so easy that I can just jump in and I'm going to be able to do this without putting in that hard work. Because I agree with you. I mean, if somebody comes into network marketing, if they work as hard as you did getting through chiropractic school for 8 years, they should be pretty darn good at network marketing at that point, and they should be building a business that's worthwhile. But they get that perception oftentimes because the person giving that presentation to them makes it seem like it's easier than it is. And, they go to the conference room at the back of the Holiday Inn, or even the 2-on-1 presentation, say, this is all you need to do. And, you can be successful doing this. It's almost like if there's a flaw in that original presentation. It's like, you don't want to scare them off by saying, oh, this sound way too rosy. So what do good leaders do with somebody that shows up that appears to be serious, that to help them understand, like, this isn't quite as easy as that presentation maybe made it look. This is what it really takes, but this is what you can really have.
When I find a person that I believe, when I find a person that genuinely believes that they want to build a business, I just pour into them, and I treat them like they're going to be the next rock star on my team. Maybe they will be, maybe they won't, but I always give people benefit of the doubt. But what I give them is myself. I give them my time. I am the one that ends up doing the presentation for their contacts over and over and over again, so they can learn how to do the business. They can see how it's done properly, because it's a training business. Network marketing, you have to train people how to do it. I say cloning. I'm trying to clone myself all the time. So if I just signed you up, Dan, I'm just going to say, who do you know, and how we're going to get in front of people, and what's your network like, and let's just go start showing some of these people. And I might do the first 20 presentations for you. I might do the first 50. I'm going to do whatever it takes until I know that you know how to do it exactly like I just did it. And it takes repetition, and they're going to see my posture. They're going to see that I'm indifferent at the end, whether they say yes, whether they say no. I celebrate the fact that I did what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to show them the information. I got to the end and I asked them to get started, and maybe it's a yes, maybe it's a no. I don't go up with the yeses. I don't go down with the nos. I'm just a professional. I just trust the numbers, and I just do income producing activities over and over and over and over again, while most people are not.
Yeah. And I think that makes a lot of sense. And I understand that piece where, you can pour into the people that get it, the people that you see that have potential. And the people that get it, they look past the yachts and Lamborghinis in the presentation anyways, and they understand that it is going to be hard work, but they also believe in themselves enough that they can actually do that work. We also get stuck dealing with, unfortunately, sometimes that kind of larger population that just saw the yachts and Lamborghinis, and when they don't have success in 3 months, they're like, none of it works. And those are the people that we're talking about. Those are the people that quit, and they quit. I think we're kind of circling back around to why do people quit here, with saying that once people realize what it takes, sometimes that's what caused them to quit. It's not as easy as they thought. They do have to put in real work. They do have to read the books. They do have to listen to the audios. I mean, it's like a lot of things in life. It needs to become a mini obsession or a big obsession in order for you to be successful with it.
Yeah, they just know that they're not ready. They know it in their heart. They know that they're not a 10. They know that they don't have leadership skills. They know they don't have their network in place, and they know ultimately they're not willing to work hard enough to do what it would take. I mean, Dan, I promise you, the thing that I've heard the most over the years is, boy, it's tough to build a network marketing business. Man, alive, a lot of work. That is the one thing that I hear the most from like the realtors. Like, yeah, Joe, it's a lot of work while you're driving around, doing your tour guiding, telling grown adults, this is the living room, on Saturdays and Sundays, and you're missing your family. Like I had so many realtors in, not to pick on realtors, but I had so many of them in the beginning 13 years ago, and they were upset about the price that had to be paid to make it work. But here's the difference. I haven't worked for the last 10 years, and they're still out there humping houses, every night and every weekend. And every time they sell a house, they're unemployed again. So, my goodness gracious, get good at something that's worth getting good at. Everything is hard. Network marketing is hard. But what's hard is you get your feelings hurt. And what's hard is you have to self-examine. And you have to have crucial conversations with yourself saying, I know about myself that I don't have the right contacts. I know about myself that I don't know the information that I need to know. I know about myself that I'm lazy. And all those things can be fixed. It's not like, it's not like some impossible thing that you can never do. You can do it because really it comes from desire. It comes from your heart's willingness to go out there and make something happen because you believe that it's a better way to live your life.
Right. And, speaking of real estate agents, I mean, I've been around that world a long time. That's where I was prior to network marketing. I think some of them are starting to figure this out, but they're a tough crowd. So let's talk about the people that have that desire that you're talking about, because there are people, they realize, and we get it all the time in the Facebook groups too, of people that we talk to, like, they don't believe they have the leadership skills. They don't believe they have the presentation skills. They don't necessarily believe that they've got the ability to go out there and build a network marketing business. But there are people that believe they don't have that stuff, but they still want to do it. What are kind of the first steps for them getting to any kind of level? And hopefully you caught me there. I know you were cutting out there just a little bit.
Yeah, it's okay. I think all people just have to realize at the end of the day that if you're going to make it work, it's something you just have to decide that you are going to make it work. So whether you don't have a lot of those skills and you're not coming to the table, with a lot of the skills that I just rattled off, it doesn't mean that you can't make it in network marketing, because the world has changed. There's no doubt about it. Social media and technology and systems, and it's just there for the taking, truly, for somebody who's lacking all of those things. I mean, I look at so many people in network marketing, and not to be a jerk or something, but they're just not my equal, at all. But they've gotten good at a lot of stuff behind the scenes that just pays an awful lot of money. And that, again, just comes from them studying and paying the price and figuring out all these things. Like, Dan, I did a podcast with a guy yesterday, and he told me that it took him 2 years to figure out how to get his business going, and I'm thinking, good for you, dude. You stuck with it for 2 years. See, that's the kind of guy I would like to work with, because he's willing to pay the price. He kept, doing it and doing it and doing it and not having the results, kept doing it until he figured it out. And he figured it out, and now boom.
Yeah, no, it's and I know what you're talking about, and he's a friend of mine as well, and I know that story quite well, because I interviewed him for another project that we have together. But within that story, it took him 2 years to figure it out. And within 3 months, he built an income to where he was able to leave his regular day job.
Yep.
But it was that 2 years of study and like failure and getting your head kicked in over and over and over again. And it just, that's part of it. I remember, during different points of building businesses and things like that, the number of times I said to myself, well, I'm too dumb to quit. Because like that was the mentality I had. I'm like, I know it works. I've seen the other people do it. I've seen Dr. Pietsch do it. We just got to keep going. So eventually we'll come out the other side. So, it is a different level. And I think that's what people need to start really grasping. It's when you want to get good at this industry. I mean, we've got 20 some odd episodes of this podcast now. They can go back and listen to all of them. That would be helpful. There's plenty of educational materials. There's plenty of audios, plenty of videos. There's so much training all over the internet. You just need to obsessively consume it all. And it doesn't mean you need to do it all. It means you need to obsessively consume it all, and you need to pick the parts that are going to help you build your business the way you want to build your business. Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Dan. And I want to take 30 seconds to introduce you to networkerpro.io, because right now they got a free 14-day trial going on. If you've learned one thing listening to Dr. Pietsch and myself, it's that systems and automation are the way to build a big team. The way to get the big whales on your team is to have proper systems and automation in your business, and Networker Pro can do that for you. You can build all of your websites, your lead generation funnels, your email automation. It's a complete CRM. The calendar is built right into it, so you don't need to integrate with a different calendar. It is all right there. And right now you can go test it out on a 14-day trial for absolutely nothing. So I'm really excited about it. I'm fortunate that I was able to partner with some developers and have them build a software that became the backbone for what I believe is the number one network marketer's tool out there on the market today. All right, let's get back to the podcast. There's so much training all over the internet. You just need to obsessively consume it all. And it doesn't mean you need to do it all. It means you need to obsessively consume it all, and you need to pick the parts that are going to help you build your business the way you want to build your business.
Yeah, Dan, I mean, I would just equate it to, you got to think about this. I mean, I practiced chiropractic for 10 years. And at the end of the day, I mean, you have to sit there and go, why, oh, why did I have to go take so many physics classes? And why did I have to take so many organic chemistry classes and all these classes that you sit there and think, when am I ever going to use this as a chiropractor? But at the end of the day, you just have to know everything. You got to know it all. And then you just focus on what you're really going to be doing day in and day out. Because I can just tell you, as a chiropractor, I mean, there's a lot of chiropractors that they might focus on just, say, infant care. There's other chiropractors that focus on just the first bone in your neck, the atlas, the upper cervical guys. There's other chiropractors that work the whole body. There's just different techniques to doing your profession. And over here in network marketing, we have some people that do all belly to belly. We have some people that do all online. We have some people that do hybrids, and some people like selling nutritional products, and some people like selling services. I mean, you just got to figure out what you really want, and then just go get it. I mean, why is this? It's just so fascinating to me that why is this any different than anything else? I mean, if I wanted to be a really good realtor, I would just go hang out with all the people that are really good realtors right now for a while. I would look at that business. I would go into it thinking, okay, it's going to probably take me a couple of years to get all this stuff down. I wouldn't go into it thinking, oh my goodness, I'm going to get into it in the first month. I'm going to make a whole bunch of money. I mean, I don't think that, but that's the mentality that the uneducated, I would say, have, because they're not taught in school, business. They don't really know anything about taxes and how leverage works. They just don't know. And they don't come from families that do it. The masses of people are just worker bees. That's what their family knows. And so they send them to college. I mean, I feel sorry for most college kids today. I honestly do. I mean, we've got so many young people on our team, but, and I hate to say this because, it's frustrating. I live in a very affluent town, and, a lot of these kids go to good colleges, but they're so brainwashed into thinking they have to go out there and get some sort of good job. It's just painful. I had a gal, I was talking to her. My wife's been selling all sorts of stuff here at the house, and young gal just graduated and got a big job over at 3M, and now she's an engineer, and she's just so proud. And she's making like $40,000 a year, and I'm just going, you have to work 40 hours a week for $40,000 a year? I would literally be suicidal, man. Like I just don't even understand it. But that's all that they know. Yeah. Dan, I did a talk at one of our events not that long ago, and I just talked about the reason I became a chiropractor was that the chiropractor in my town was the most successful person that I knew. That's all that I knew. I strove for the thing that I knew that the most successful person that I knew was doing. And so we just have to teach people that there is a higher level. There is a better way. I mean, I don't care if you're a hot shot, whatever it is that you think you're hot at. In my opinion, nothing is sweeter than a real residual income in a real network marketing company.
Yeah, and anybody that has met you, seen you out, been to your place, been around the big events with you, they understand that, and that's what I think keeps a lot of people going, is that you are the story. You're the story that a lot of people want to achieve in that industry. You said so many interesting things there that I wanted to come back and talk about. You're right. The colleges aren't doing it right. That whole leverage piece, they don't teach that. They don't even attempt to teach it. I remember I was a finance major in college. I didn't learn about leverage until the last semester of my senior year. And I was like, why are you guys just telling me this? Why did I not get this? Why did nobody ever say this to me? I would have taken every student loan at 0% I possibly could have 4 years ago and reinvested it somewhere, because I didn't take any of them. And I was like, I should have taken all of them. I could have been sitting with 30 or 40 grand in the bank right now. And it was just mind boggling to me how they did not do anything with it. So yeah, it's an interesting world that we live in. It's almost like with network marketing being one of the purest forms of business that there is, the business where if we sell more, we make more. We help somebody else make more money, we make more money. Like, it's just pure. And we're constantly going against the grain of what society teaches, which is a little bit frustrating. And, it's going back to the theme of today, why people quit. It's because it's going against the grain of what they were taught. And they show up with kind of a fear mindset in the first place. And when it doesn't work right away, they're like, oh, it probably doesn't work.
Well, because they're just so used to having a job. They work and then they get paid. And so when they work over here and they go show a bunch of people and they don't make any sales and they don't get paid, they think that it's a scam. See, they're thinking, I mean, Dan, I can just tell you this. I would much rather have anyone who's read the vast majority of Robert Kiyosaki's books than somebody that's got a business degree from any school. At least they're reading the right stuff. At least we know that they have an entrepreneurial mind and they've been exposed to what it actually is. Because look, I don't think there's any sane person, like my neighbor right across. I'm in my house in Minnesota now. My neighbor right across the street is a big time surgeon. And his wife was just talking to us. And she said that he never is really around. He goes to work really early in the morning. He gets home at 8 o'clock every night and the kids are already in bed. So here I look at this man who everybody thinks is super successful and he's gone all the time. Whereas me, I take my 3 daughters to the park every day and we go to the gym together. We just spend all of our time together. And I probably make a lot more money than he does, by the way. But even if it was the same, the quality of life that I have compared to him is not worth comparing. I have a life, he has none. When he gets to the end of his life, he's going to look back and go, wow, I wish I wouldn't have wasted my whole life working. I can assure you. So what do you want your life to be in and day out? And then just go get it. If it's network marketing and residual income, just figure it out. Pay the 2-year price, pay the 5-year price, whatever your learning curve really truly is, pay the price. Learn the skills, then do the work. Yeah,
absolutely. 100%. And that's what it takes. And, for the people that don't quit, the reward is on the other side. It's a ways out there and you got to push through. And kind of like I said earlier, sometimes you just need to be too dumb to quit. And you just got to fight through. Some days when you don't know why you're still fighting, you still continue to fight all the way through. So I'm going to ask one final question. I'll answer it myself first and then give you a second to think about it. And then you can answer it as well. But if we were to throw out there and recommend the number one thing for the people that really, really want it, they have the desire, but they don't believe that they have the skills yet, what should they do? And, just to give you a second to think about it, I'll answer it. The first thing that came to my head, I just thought of this question, but I thought of what I would put as the answer as well. And for me, it would be to tell them to go and read some books. Read some personal development books that are empowering, that educate you, because when you get educated and you get that additional knowledge, even if it's not directly related to what it is that you feel like you need to learn, it empowers you. It gives you greater confidence, conviction in your voice, and it makes you feel smarter the next day. It just does. If you read every single day, you feel smarter, when you're having that next conversation, which helps you close the next deal. So that'd be my answer to that. What would be the number one thing you would tell somebody to do that really wants to level up, but they don't believe they have the skills just yet?
Well, I mean, look, I would agree with you. Like if you have not read Robert Kiyosaki's Cash Flow Quadrant, you have to own that. You have to live that. You have to believe that. You have to be willing to fight for that because you know that it's right and you know that it's true. You know that being an entrepreneur is a better way. The tax advantages, the freedom that you have, you can live where you want to live. You don't have bosses. I mean, just all of that has to be the core of your message. Mm-hmm. Then you've got to develop the skills. And in network marketing, look, you most likely are on somebody's team, and maybe somebody benefits financially from you in your company that really knows how to do the business. And what I would do is I would move heaven and earth to get that person's attention and just, say, listen, Dan, I'm serious about doing this business. I want to do it, and then just ask them, can I watch you do it to my 20 prospects or 50, or is there anything that I can do, to shadow you so I can learn from you? And if you don't have that situation, find that situation, go make it happen for yourself. Like I just watched a couple of my friends that, were in a company that I just believed was an absolute snail. I knew it was the wrong company for them when they signed up in it. And finally, after like 7 or 8 years, they just made a move to a much better company where I said to my wife today, they're going to have a lot of success now just because they're going to be so surprised how much easier it is to do when you actually sell something that people actually want. But they're also going to get mentored by people that are really, really, really good at doing this business and are really current as to what's really going on in the world. So they're going to go from virtually having no upline support, selling very boring products, to much better products with a real upline, and they're going to have massive success. So, do people need to make a change sometimes? Yeah. If you can't find what you're looking for, then change your situation. But you have to learn the skills from somebody who knows how to do it right now in today's world.
Absolutely. So quick recap on number one things you can do. One, it's probably one of the most important things that gets overlooked in network marketing is put yourself in a good situation to succeed and win. Find yourself a good upline leader that can pour into you, somebody who has had success that you can learn from. That's not always your cousin that brought you to the event. Sometimes you have to bypass them and you have to get to the actual leadership level. Beyond that, you mentioned Cash Flow Quadrant, and that was one of the books. As soon as I read that, of course, they didn't let me read that in college. They never suggested it. I think I read that 2 or 3 years after college, and I'm like, why is nobody saying this? But yeah, it makes total sense. So that'd be a big thing to do, is understand how finances actually work, understand how residual income really works and how it can take care of your residual bills. So we'll just put that in conjunction with mine that was read. Go read that. We'll narrow down the number one thing you should do if you haven't done it already. Read Cash Flow Quadrant. So cool, man. Well, it's awesome to be back recording the All In Networker podcast. So hopefully we'll get back to a little normalcy here this school year, and things will come back around. So any parting words for the listening viewers, or whatever we want to call them, the listeners?
I would just say read every book that Robert Kiyosaki has ever put out. That guy's made me millions of dollars, and he's spot on.
Yeah.
I like Robert Kiyosaki probably more than anybody, to be honest with you. I think
probably the best man in his wedding. So
I'm a big Robert Kiyosaki fan because he just tells it like it is, and he's telling the truth.
Yeah. And you read it, and it also gives you that additional leadership. We talk about becoming a leader. It gives you additional leadership qualities. It gives you something else you can teach to people that are coming into this business. So, all right, we could go on and on and on, as always. But I appreciate you, Doc. Appreciate everybody who is listening here. We've been doing pretty well on the podcast, so we're excited about that. If you've gotten some value out of this episode, please share it, review it, subscribe. If you're over on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate that as well. If you're listening on iTunes and you don't know we have a YouTube channel, go check it out on YouTube. You actually get to see our faces when we talk about this stuff. So I know, right? Right there. So
I'm a model from 1,000 yards away, Dan.
You're a model hey, we're all models on YouTube. We're okay. So, all right. Appreciate you guys as always. Till next time. See you then. Thanks a lot. Hey, thanks for listening to the All In Networker podcast. Dr. David Pietsch and I greatly appreciate it. If you receive some value, or you know somebody that would receive some value, please share this episode with them. We want to pick up the entire industry, help serve the entire industry of network marketing. We believe that when other network marketers win, we all win. So on top of that, if you'd like to check out some of our free trainings, you can go to allinnetworker.com. Otherwise, please just rate, subscribe to this episode, this podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. We'd greatly appreciate it. And until next time, thanks a lot.